I don't know if I'm recording.
Doesn't look like it.
Okay.
Insert this too. So gotta put that.
And you can start this edit.
Yes, I can just cut it.
And you're on.
Okay.
Okay.
Everything's on.
All right. Here you go. Welcome to Spirit Speaks. We are channeling voices from the other side. Bernette is the channeler, and I am Rebecca, and I ask the questions. So we're glad to have you. We ask you to please like and subscribe to our channel, and check out our Facebook page on Spirit Speaks channel, and check out our other YouTube channels, sessions. I think you will enjoy those. And also, we have a website, spiritspeakschannel.com. You will find great information there, blogs, and more information about us. So,
And those links are going to be down in the description, so don't worry.
yes, if you didn't get that all. But you can also listen again. Okay. All right, so we are going to prepare to welcome our first voice from the other side. But before we do, we'd like to open the session and set the tone for what we're about to do. We call in the divine light of Source Creator to set this time and space with love and light and good intent. We open the sacred space to those who desire to share their stories and their truths with us. May all that comes forth be of the highest good, and so it shall be. All right. So, are we ready?
I believe we are ready.
Okay. So, who is our first guest today?
We have a young lady named Sarah.
Okay.
She says she's about 25.
All right.
She's
So,
giddy.
oh,
She's excited.
okay. Well, we are excited to have you, Sarah. We do enjoy these sessions as much as our listeners do. So, would you like to tell us your story?
She's just excited to. She's super excited to be here because it means that she's about to move on. So I'm asking her to come back down a notch. She's one of those really bubbly,
Yes.
fast-talking people.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna get ready for her energy.
Well,
Okay.
I'm not trans channeling, so I just have to translate and try to make sense of her energy. Telling her to take a deep breath. She says, "Ask me." Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Sarah,
Yes.
what brings you to this place that you're in? And can you tell us where you are?
She says, "I'm part of the pod, the same group."
Okay.
Yeah.
For our listeners who may not have heard the other two stories, you are in a waiting place.
Yes, but I'm almost done.
Okay. And you are in a pod of how many?
There's 12 of us.
Now, the others do you all move on to the next level together, or do some leave the pod earlier?
Some can leave earlier if they do all the work, and they get done faster, and they are able to kind of assimilate all the knowledge really quickly. She talks so fast, I'm sorry. Trying to assimilate all the knowledge. They can move on, but, you know, people go at their own speed. Some people leave the pod really quickly. Some people have to stay a little bit longer. Sometimes they have to join another pod in order to continue. But we're hoping that all of us, most of us have been together a long time. Some people have already gone on. Some people are staying back. But there are 12 of us who are kind of in this right now. You've already met 2 of them. 12 of us are hopefully going to go on together if we can pass this little session right now.
Okay, so why did you not move on when you first got to this waiting place?
Because I had some things I had to work out. I came here as an accident, so I didn't know that I was, well, when you have an accident, sometimes you leave so suddenly that you don't realize that you're not in your body anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened. So I lingered for a little while. I was hanging around my family. And finally, my uncle came and got me because I hadn't gone on myself. And I didn't really understand because I wasn't taught that way. I didn't know anything about any of this. And so when I went on to the other side and I got to this place and I had to do my assessment, there were some things I had to understand. It was really confusing. I think that's what Jenna was talking about. Some of us don't really understand where we are. And that's kind of what happened to me. I wasn't really sure.
Okay, so what are you working on? What were you working on in this pod?
So we had to get our emotions under control. We had to get the lessons that we were supposed to learn in this lifetime, which I started doing a few of them, but I didn't really get to do very many of them because I left so young. I had a car accident. I shouldn't have been drinking and driving, but that's another story. And I had to recognize my fault in the accident because another person was injured. They weren't killed. I was killed, but they were injured severely. And I know that they had some trauma after that. But I had to deal with my guilt. Once I realized that I was dead, once I realized I was here, I had to deal with a lot of that.
Okay, so are any of the reasons for your drinking, or any of those reasons, things that you had to deal with on the side where you are now?
Yeah, I had a lot of escapism issues. Like, I didn't want to have to deal with my reality. Not that it was awful, I just escaped. And it wasn't that I was, well, some people might say I was depressed at times, but I wasn't really depressed. Like, some people are depressed. I didn't want to have to deal with some of my reality. There was so much pressure, so many expectations on me that I just, like, I wanted to party. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And that was an easier thing.
Okay.
Live hard, die hard. You know, sometimes that's how they say when you roll like that.
Okay, so now how have you dealt with that in this place where you're in now, in the waiting place?
Well, I've had to not, I can't escape here. Like, there's nowhere to go. You are here. Like, this is your pod. Everyone's, like, around you. You can try not to do something, but it doesn't last very long if you actually want to move on. And I don't want to stay here forever because I've got things to do. And after being here long enough, seeing other people come and go and come and go and move on, it's like, I want to do that too. I want to be able to move on. I want to be able to have a life and not escape my own life, like being there but not being there. That's what I was doing. And this time, when I go forward, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be in my life. I'm not going to try to pretend like I'm not there or try to avoid situations and people and things and responsibilities. I was avoiding responsibilities. I'm not going to do it this time. So I had to go through all that kind of training. I had to go through lessons in life. Everyone has to do that so that we learn how to be responsible for our own lives. We learn how to make decisions and not, you make mistakes, but if you're going to own up to your mistakes, then that's important. So I had to learn how to do that. And like, I made a mistake and I hurt somebody else. I hurt myself. I cut my life short. So I had to forgive myself. I had to learn how to deal with grief and anger and not wanting to be a part of your own life.
May I ask why you did not want to be a part of your own life?
There was too much pressure. I mean, I came from a family where there was just a lot of pressure, and I figured if I kind of made myself where no one expected anything of me because I was not reliable, then I wouldn't have to deal with all the expectations, all the pressure. People might just leave me alone. Unfortunately, I think I took it too far, and I was partying too much, and I was out, and I didn't handle the responsibility of my own life. I didn't handle what I was supposed to do, and I should say what I was supposed to do, but what I wasn't supposed to do. And I know I shouldn't have gotten in a car. I shouldn't have, done what you're supposed to do when you're drinking. You get someone else to drive, and I didn't do it.
Okay, so the place where you are now,
Hmm.
how did they teach you? What was the process of teaching you to become more responsible?
So you get set up in situations like you have role playing, and you have groups, and you have people that you pair off with, and they create these like lifelike simulations. So it's not exactly what you might have gone through, but it's something similar because they don't want to trick you completely, but at the same time, you need to know how to handle those triggers. And so um, they put me in a lifelike situation. They probably didn't bring in other people, almost actors, character actors, whatever you want to call it, from other pods sometimes, from other levels sometimes, who fill different roles in these situations. It's almost like being an acting class, but or improv, but
Mm-hmm.
this is for you so that you learn how to deal with it. But it's really good because you do learn how to integrate that knowledge into your being. So I'm in these pods, I'm in these acting classes, so to speak, learning how to like interact with people, learning how not to make excuses now, not to start an argument or a fight to get out of a situation, because that's what we do, avoidance. And so I would be in these difficult situations, and I couldn't leave. Like, you can't leave, otherwise you fail. You don't pass, and you have to keep doing it over again. And the first few times, yeah, I did try that. I tried to like make excuses, start fights, start arguments, so I would be forced kind of out of that situation at the moment, but then you just wind up right back there again. It's kind of like you can't just escape. You have to go through it. So I would go through the training, learn how to stay present in my own life, learn how to stay where I was, and deal with it.
Okay.
That was a big thing. You have to deal with it. So if you're upset about something, you have to deal with it. If you're afraid, you have to deal with it. If you don't want to, sometimes like I didn't want to, there were so many expectations. Like I was expected to be a straight A student. I was expected to go to the best college. I was expected to get the greatest job. And that's just a lot. When by the time I was 25, I was like stressed out. I was having a quarter life crisis. And I just didn't know what to do. So I drank. I escaped. I partied. Um,
Okay.
when I came here, I was kind of doing, I couldn't do the same thing, but I was still trying to escape. But there's nowhere to go. You got to deal with it.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, I'm talking fast.
It's okay, Jenna. It's okay.
No, Jenna was before me. I'm
I'm
Sarah.
sorry, Sarah. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Sarah.
That's okay.
Yeah, yes. Uh, what I'd like to ask you though about your family that you left behind. Did you have any regrets about leaving all that life and leaving that situation once you realized that you had crossed and left your body?
That's a good question. I don't know if I really regret leaving the situation. I mean, I know I must have created it for myself. I know from here that like I chose to go into that family. It looked like a really good family. They had lots of money, lots of opportunities. I figured I could have the life I really wanted, but it came with the cost. It came with expectations that, for me, that I don't know if I was ready for, or I was just too lazy, one of them. So I don't know if I regret that I left it. I mean, it was an accident. It happened. I left. They were sad. I mean, I know I hurt my mom, hurt my dad. They loved me. It's not like they loved me. They wanted the best for me. Maybe I didn't want the best for myself because it was easy growing up, and then suddenly I'm expected to do it all myself. That wasn't. I want to say that wasn't fair, but that's kind of what it was. It's like they spoiled me, and then I'm supposed to be an adult.
So, what would you want to tell someone else who who's here now that might be listening to this, who feels the same way you felt when you were here? What is the lesson that is very important to gain from this?
Well, the lesson that I had to learn was I had to take responsibility for myself. Like, even though I may have had things handed to me when I was growing up, at some point you're responsible for yourself, good or bad. You're responsible for your life. And if you want to have a life that you want, or you want to continue the kind of lifestyle that you had, you have to work for it. Like, my parents didn't get it from someone else. They had to work for it, and I took that
Mm-hmm.
for granted. So it was really hard when I had to when I grew up and
Excuse me.
realized that if I wanted what they had, I had to work for it too. That was kind of hard, but it was a reality. And so I wish my parents would have taught me earlier. So not when I'm like almost grown, and then it's like, oh, you're on your own now. You not well, they didn't really like say you're on your own, but it was this expectation that we're gonna help you, but you really have to do all this stuff. So it was just a lot of pressure. So I wish they would have told me or taught me earlier that I have to be responsible. That they didn't give me everything I wanted and everything I asked for. That I had to work for some things and kind of scale me up to being an adult versus you become an adult and you're responsible and all these expectations on you versus like maybe when I was a teenager, made me do some things, maybe earn some things, maybe not give me everything, so that by the time I'm an adult, I know how to be responsible and not just have life handed to me because it wasn't handed to me after that.
Yeah, but Sarah,
Yeah.
was there ever any gratitude in there for what they did for you? Because you're saying they just handed you everything, but were you at any point grateful for the hard work that they put in to provide that life for you?
Yeah, I was.
Are you grateful now
I
in
was
any
grateful
way?
then. It was just hard. I didn't because they did it all. It's like you can be grateful, but if someone hands you everything, you don't learn how to be truly grateful.
So, do you blame your parents?
I don't say blame. We don't. I mean, it's not the word that we're going to use. But there's some responsibility that they bear for raising a child.
Okay.
And as a child, there's a responsibility I bear growing up as well. So I wasn't in the situation by myself.
Okay.
So there is some responsibility. You know, you asked me what,
On both
yeah,
parts.
what I would tell people who are going through this now. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just the child, it's the parents who are raising the children.
Okay.
These parents are raising children who don't know how to be adults.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And I didn't know how to be an adult. Was that my fault? I didn't know what I didn't know until I was grown and couldn't handle it. So I wish that my parents had known that. I wish that someone had told them that so that I was prepared and didn't have to go through this. So they didn't know and I didn't know.
Mm-hmm. I understand. So, what is your plan going forward?
Well, hopefully I pass. Hopefully I can go on with the others to 4, level 4,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully then I can make the plan to come back and do this again. But I have so many more tools in my tool belt. I mean, like my tool chest is filled with tools now. It's just a matter of can I like recall all of them and pull them out when it's necessary when I come back?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know when you come back, sometimes you don't remember stuff. A lot of times you don't remember stuff, and they've warned us about that. But like, hopefully the things on soul level integrate, and like you're just a better person overall, and you just have these tools embedded in you, so that when you come back and you have to go through these things, you just know how to like be better at it, do it better, versus freak out like I did.
Okay, so do you plan to come back to a family that is wealthy?
Yeah. I mean, I don't regret that lifestyle. I just wish I had known how to be an adult. I wish I had been taught better how to be an adult. So I might do a better job of picking which parents, or you know, maybe my parents aren't even down there yet, and like we can agree together that we're gonna be responsible together. So yeah, but I like that. I would definitely
Okay.
do that again.
Okay.
It was fun when I was young.
And you know how now to use it better.
Yeah,
And
yeah, and I know how to be responsible and not escape and not be afraid of you know being expected. Like if I want to come into that world, there's some expectation of how to maintain it, and that's cool.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's see, is there anything else you'd like to add? Because that's really good. I appreciate your candidness and honesty about the responsibility on both the parent and the child. Because in this world now, because we have so many opportunities and so many resources available to us, parents like to give their children everything they did not have.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and mine did. Mine did. And it's. I mean, I wish they'd had known. I wish you know we all had known, but we didn't. And the result is, I'm here, and I've got to learn it here. I've got to learn how to do it. But now I'm learning it, and I've taken a lot of time and invested in myself here, and I'm hoping that that pays off. I really am, because one, I want to go on with my friends, and we want to go to the next level, and we all want to make it there together so that we can make our plans for coming back and doing it better.
Now, is that plan for you all that are in this group to come back so that you can interrelate with each other when you reincarnate?
That will be fun, but that's not necessarily the plan that they try to put us to do that, because there's so many other synchronicities that have to work out, and other family members and our karmic obligations that have to be done. We just happen to be in this pod together, but like I might come back with a couple of them. We may interact or cross paths in life, or maybe a minor thing, but maybe major. But we'll have to see how that goes on the next level.
Okay. Well, I thank you for coming and sharing your story. This has been most interesting.
Thank you.
And for our listeners, I'm sure they're going, hopefully, they gain some information from this about responsibility, accountability for parents and for children, and will consider how they're raising their children, those who are parents. So, thank you. This has been good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and I want to say congratulations to you.
Thank you.
They
haven't told me anything yet. I'm holding them.
Well, congratulations to you whenever you move forward, because I
you.
think you're on your way.
Thank you.
And I'm so grateful that you've come and shared.
Thank you.
All right.
It was fun.
Okay, and with that, I'll let you step back.
All right. Have
Okay.
a good one.
We will.
All
And
right.
you too.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Wow. That was awesome. I'm going to close the session with a prayer. We are grateful for Sarah coming through to share her story with us, and we are grateful for all who are open to receiving it and for all the seeds that have been planted by this message. May the healing rays of love and light be received by everyone in need. May Sarah receive divine love and light on her journey, and may this divine love and light of Source Creator follow her always. Let it be so. Amen.
Amen.
Wow, that was an interesting take.
It was. And she was fast talking.
Oh my goodness, interesting perspective too. And because we don't really think about parents being accountable for children. Well, we think of it, but we don't think of giving children everything being something that could hurt them if we don't give them the tools to properly use it.
Right. Right.
We just think, I want you to have it.
But how do you maintain that once they want to maintain that lifestyle, and there's expectations that they will, but that they didn't get the tools or don't know how to have a mindset for it. Like she was, I think she said freaked out. If she freaked out, or like it was too much.
Yeah. And I can imagine that if you're given whom much is given, much is required. A lot is required to maintain a whole lot. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what she was feeling.
Wow, how do I do this?
Right, this expectation of how do I maintain this? How do I live up to this expectation?
This lifestyle on this level. Yeah. Interesting. It was good. Well, we are so glad that you have joined us. We ask you again to subscribe and like to our channel, to check us out on Facebook, and check out our website to learn more about us. And we hope that we will see you again.
And if you have kids, we'd love to hear your comments on this video.
That would be...
Yeah, that'd be interesting to hear your comments. Or if you're a child who's grown up in this way, what are your thoughts on this?
Mhm.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah. Share
Drop it in the comments below.
and also our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spirit Speaks channel.
All right.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right. Bye.